could have been so much more. So, welcome back to another episode of Storytime. I'm your host. I'm not going to use my name anymore, but I'm your host. Yeah. I got a clicker. Check it out. So I can, hit the button without dropping it, and it will... I no longer have to touch the camera. Win-win for everyone. Less of me to deal with the physical aspect of that. Okay, so normally I go and start off with the story, right? I did call this story time after all. Hang on a sec. Good enough. I went to the store and actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat this. I'm going to tell you a story. And don't worry, it's not going to be annoying. It's so hot. Because I don't smack my lips when I eat. Now, these are called... You might not have ever seen these before. They're kind of a big deal. I think they just came out about a few days ago. But they're called skillets. So, apparently they're supposed to be a bunch of different flavors. And this particular one says, beware of a rotten taste. And these are all fruit-based, so I'm assuming rotten fruit, which I've had before, and I live to tell the tale. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's, There we go. Alright. Nothing in here looks rotten, right? You telling me? So... rotten, huh? Rotten. Big old question mark in my head. Well, the story I wanted to share. Now, there's two versions of it. I will tell you the version that I can remember, and then I'll have my guest next time, when he comes back from vacation, have him tell you his version of it. So, and I'm probably going to botch it, and he's going to, watch this video and be like, you really should have just waited. And I'll be like, well, yeah, obviously. You were done. So, oh, okay, they're falling out. Let's lay these out. I'm not going to move the camera because I'm just too lazy. So there's a blue skillet. There's a purple scuttle. There's a green and then there's, there's orange. That's cool. Almost the color of the rainbow. That should be a slogan. Taste the rainbow sort of a thing. Because they're all the colors of the rainbow. I don't know. Whatever. So, yeah. Got a bunch of different colors here. Nothing looks rotted. So, maybe it was a bluff. Maybe they just totally screwed me over and made me spend money. $2.19 for nothing. So basically how the story goes. I don't know if you're a SASQUATCH believer. I don't know if you believe in the legend and the myth of Bigfoot, the bipedal hairy man, mountain man sort of thing. Makes a big scene out of nothing. He, she, it, whatever you want to call it, has a reputation for being the world's best hide-and-seek champion. Yeah. And I thought I was good. So, there was a, that doesn't taste bad at all. That was orange. Petrifying citrus punch. It definitely tastes citrusy. I like it. It's good. Oh, it's so sweet. And I have a sweet tooth. Don't get scallops, whatever that is. It's all this share size. That's cool. Share it with me, myself, and I. Anyway, so from the story that I remember, now I'm sure you guys all have your own story or have heard of one. You know, they're pretty interesting stories, and they're a lot of fun to listen to. This one had to do with a camping trip. And I'm probably gonna get like two stories blended into one, but hey, it's just gonna make it for an extra interesting story, right? So there was this, I'm gonna say three guys that went camping, and they had their truck, and they went down to, what lake was it? I think it was called Lost Lake. I think. And he actually, I think it was just one guy, and he went to Lost Lake. I'm sorry, Dad, if I got this story wrong, and you know me when it comes to stories. I probably did. There's no one over there. Goody. And by the way, there was a plate of pizza here last time. Why didn't you tell me? So unprofessional. This guy went from home onto this really nice long road trip going all the way down to Lost Lake, which is somewhere in Oregon, I want to say. I think it is really hot in here. I want to turn on the fan, but I don't want it to like be, and then you'd be like, and then I'd be, oh yeah, that's right, I still got these. Red berry. Well, that would explain the color. He has like a tent. He doesn't take like a fifth wheel or anything. He's got a tent. He's got the camping gear, camping chairs, probably a fishing pole. Probably bought the fish, and some fisherman he was. And yeah, just your average camper. I don't know if he heard stories of something being up there, and that's why he decided to go there, but I think he also just knows the lake and was like, oh, that's a beautiful place, so he went there. I haven't gone there yet. I'll let you know what that's like. But here's where the story gets really spooky, okay? Now you have to keep in mind, this is one person. And I can just hear my dad telling me, nope, it was 2 or 3 or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm just going to make the story as I go. It is based on true events. There we go. That's why they do that in the movies. And it's probably like 2 a.m. at this point, and he's in his tent, dead asleep. He's alive, but he's asleep. And he hears the if you can hear that, it's exactly what it sounded like. It was even deeper and it was heavier, so it was probably like rattling the ground. So you're thinking, okay, either multiple trees are falling right now, or something very big is outside my tent. And it is large and in the hundreds of pounds. So whatever it was making a ruckus. Now, if I remember correctly, it was in the campground messing with things. And you could hear it going through the trash. You could hear it going through some of the bags that he had. Probably eating all the graham crackers, a selfish thing. And get your own. And then he starts getting up to the tent. If I was this guy, I would have pooped in my pants. And he hears a trickle. Now, you're thinking, what, is it peeing on him or something? That's exactly what it did. It's got, now imagine this massive shadow, like overcasting. It looks like it's going to just grab the tent and pull it up, because this thing is strong enough to do it. And you're in this big forest by yourself, okay? Keep that in mind. He's in this forest by himself, and he has no one with him. He's by himself. And now there's this big creature, this big shadow, just looking over this tent. And he hears this trickling. And he, did he have a gun with him? I think he had a gun, and he had it with him, and popped a couple rounds. Oh, no. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to take all of that part back. The gun did not exist. Maybe it did. I don't care. What I do recall was the tent being rattled and shaken back and forth, And like, this thing is like probably staked into the ground, right, with really big stakes. Um, Probably not as delicious as a real steak. And this thing's being rattled up, and you're probably getting picked up and dropped, picked up and dropped, picked up and dropped. Now, holy cow, right? Holy cow. Once it stops, it gets dead quiet. Now, from the perspective of the guy, we're going to call him Mr. Johnson. That's an accent. Why? I remember he gets in his truck, and I think he had a rifle, and probably popped around or something to try and like scare it. And Skittles, that's what they're called, Skittles. Right? I knew that. Should probably pop another one. So far, I haven't tasted anything disgusting. It's been a very pleasant experience. Best $2.19. I don't remember what I said. But anyway, he gets in his truck, and this guy's like shaking like a leaf, right? And he's driving off. And I remember the story being in the woods. This thing is following him. He's in his truck. He's got the lights on. He's going slow too. He's just trying to make sure he gets out safe. And this thing is following him in the woods. So you're seeing the trees start to do this, or be more like this, right? Because it's displacing matter and mass, or displacing mass with matter with mass. And so he picks up the pace, and it's keeping up with him. So he's going even faster, and it's going even faster than that. And then he's got it going, and the thing is keeping up with him. So he's probably like, "Oh God!" But he didn't. He kept on going. He didn't turn off into the forest to try and ram it or anything. He didn't go, "Oh God!" He kept on going, and finally made it to the main road, and then it was over. Whatever was following him was gone. And it probably looked something horrific. Probably like this. I mean, if you saw this chasing after you, you would pee your pants. Admit it. So, that's the story of the man who encountered the Thing, which is not a good movie. The Man Who Encountered the Thing. That'd be an awful movie. What kind of title is that? Anyway, I'm actually gonna just start this video over.